You know, in the New England Patriots NFL team, they talk about Tom Brady being so intense in the locker room, so intense on the field, just intense all of the time. There's always a way to get better. And there are other people like Rob Gronkowski, the tight end, who was the party guy. He was the one who was saying, relax, Tom.
Yeah.
What was the environment like relative to those two people? Did you have a mixture of like some of the people who were the jokesters and more lighthearted as well as some super intense people?
The intense people were the exception, not the rule. We had some intense people, but they weren't even the intense. So Jocko's a great example. Jocko's a friend. Jocko comes across as this very intense guy, and I would imagine that when you put him next to most SEALs, he would be more intense or come across as more intense. But he's also very, very humorous. I mean, he jokes the same way we do. I mean, but every other SEAL does, you know. So I think I don't think the super intense guys can make it through buds. You just can't. You cannot maintain that level of seriousness for that duration in that type of misery and still make it through. You have to relax. You have to let it happen. You have to let it be. You know, and I think part of that is indicative of just the training they ask you to do. You know, we do something called drown proofing in SEAL training, and where they basically tie your hands behind your back. So you tie up your hands and they tie your feet, and then they throw you in the pool. And you have to basically bob. The pool is about 15 or 20 feet deep, and you have to bob there for 30 minutes. Okay, by bobbing, you mean you can either tire yourself out by trying to kind of move your legs, which is really kind of akin to panicking because you're going to tire out. You're not going to make it 30 minutes, or you completely relax yourself. As soon as you relax yourself, and for example, you blow out all the air, what happens? You sink. And you sink to the bottom, and as soon as you get to the bottom, you basically kick off the bottom and kick yourself up to the surface again. You take another deep breath, and then you sink again. And so all drown proofing is just a very calm, relaxed, I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna take a breath, I'm gonna sink down, I'm gonna blow the breath out, and I'm gonna kick off. And as soon as you understand that rhythm, drown proofing becomes super easy, you know. And then of course, you know, they add to that twist because after you do it for 30 minutes, they basically drop a mask at the bottom. You have to pick up the mask with your teeth, go up, and then you have to swim 50 meters, you know, that way, you know, with your hands and feet tied too. But that all still is incumbent on you kind of relaxing. And so I think this level of training, it eliminates those people who take things too seriously, who can't kind of relax in the moment and kind of say, okay, I'm just going to let it play out. I'm just going to let to some degree, I'm not in control. So if I can't control it, then I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to control what I can control. And so I think this might be one of the reasons why maybe some super intense athletes don't make it through, because they approach the environment too intensely and they can't lighten up. You have to lighten up. Things are going to get bad. You're going to feel horrible. The shit's going to hit the fan. Everything's going to be, you know, it's going to be miserable. And you have to be able to say, all right, fine. We'll just let's crack a joke. That's the time to do it. So maybe that's it. You know. So yeah. The answer to your question is I didn't find that there were guys who were a little bit more intense than others. Holistically, even the intense guys knew when to relax and let loose and just kind of let it happen. Crack a joke.
Yeah, I love that.